it's not so much how the Chiefs are going to survive or excel or whatever, go to the Super Bowl without Tyreek Hill. It's what are the concepts? What are we trying to accomplish here? And that's where I'm not really sure.
That gets to the big picture point where when I was going through this, I almost throw out the Bengals game, which I know is probably a mistake. All statisticians will tell me don't throw out the last thing you saw just because you don't want to be bogged down by the last thing you saw. That felt like a particular series of brain farts from the staff and the quarterback. And I know it was a culmination of them seeing more of the two deep, then they see a drop eight and oh shit, we haven't built concepts to deal with drop eight, and why are we not running the ball? I get all that. The big thing for me, taking the whole season in totality last year, that gets to your point about what concepts will they run, how will they evolve conceptually, and we can rattle through the run game, the RPO, the drop back pass game. We can get through as much as we want. The lack of sequencing, I was talking about this to you just before we started, where nothing they did, it just felt like a hodgepodge of plays. They're like, we're so good, our plays are so good, our quarterback's so good, we're so smart, let's just pick our favorite plays and we'll just run them. And we'll probably pop a few. And then as defense is backed up, I don't think watching they properly accounted for what that burst the bubble of that style of grab bag of plays offense. And I think most people think of sequencing in the sense of the best example, I think, is the Shanahan Falcons offense, right? Wide zone, wide zone, wide zone, boot. And the boot is the payoff play. And oh, look how well they sequenced that. The linebacker flow, gets caught running down. The deep crosser goes flying behind him. Everyone puts their hands up for a touchdown.
We're using a play now to set a defense up 3 plays later.
Yes, which is, I think, how most people
Walsh
think.
And Walsh, Gilman, whoever.
But there's also the art of putting in specific stuff to figure out what the defense is going to do. Let's put our fullback on the field. Let's get into a condensed set and run away from the condensed set to see how they handle that so that when we get to go time, we know, oh, we can kind of get a sense of what they're doing. And I felt none of that seeping through from them last year. Every game has essentially, outside of the Raiders games where they couldn't believe their luck that they're seeing all that cover 3 from Gus Bradley still, it's the same stuff. Yeah. Over and over again. Same stuff. They'll throw in different stuff for different down distance, but they are running the same stuff over and over again. Now, I don't think they necessarily, obviously, Andy Reid's way better at this than we are, but I don't think it needs to get torn down completely, but I think they need an injection of new ideas, and I think they should approach this as, how would we build this from the ground up if we just came in day one as a new staff, as opposed to bringing all the baggage of the Tyreek Hill and just trying to say, put McCall in that role and we'll figure the rest out from around that.
That's not that simple at all. One of the first examples I ever saw of that was when Sean Payton had Reggie Bush. He would motion him from the backfield to the slot, and the third linebacker was like, uh-oh. And I maintain, I've made this point before. Reggie Bush essentially invented the nickel-based defense, because what else are you going to do? You have to run 4-2-5. You can't put your linebacker on that guy or he's going to demolish you. He's going to just eat your head. Yeah, I would say the sequencing, and where that shows up is in Mahomes's, because he was really efficient, 0 to 9 air yards. He was actually better in 20 or more air yard throws last year than he was the year before. And and the numbers were about similar, which doesn't go with type. If you just kind of take the whole season in your head, you're thinking, well, they didn't throw deep as much. Actually, they kind of did, and he was better at it. Where it shows up is in 2 places: a radically inefficient run game where they were trying to, paste it together with, Hill and Hardman running sweeps and all that. It was like the entire Robert Woods Rams sweep game. Like, take that and make it your foundational concept. Maybe not so much. And then Mahomes' inefficiency in the intermediate passing game. The stuff that we talked about where he's missing Tyreek Hill wide open over and over because he doesn't want to make that throw. He wants to make the big throw. And I think in whether this is in the playbook or in Mahomes' head, because obviously he has options through the play. It's like, well, if I'm going to go, it's not like going touchdown to check down or vice versa. It's, if I have a check down, okay. If I have a touchdown, okay. If I have the middle stuff, that's where it really isn't defined. And I think the definition of that, and that, they bring in Juju, they bring in Valdes-Scantling, they get Sky Moore in the draft, who kind of reminds me of a Julian Edelman type, very, tough over the middle slant guy. They have now the receivers to do that, to define the intermediate passing game, to make the offense not plodding, but sustaining. It's not like it's going to, because Hardman, yeah, he can roll deep. There were also a lot of communication issues with, it was like Hardman would run, one of those sail routes and beat the corner, and Mahomes was expecting him 10 yards downfield from where he was. It was kind of like that first half season with Brady in Tampa Bay where he was overthrowing Scotty Miller by 30 yards. They still have a little, so I think the sequencing shows up in the run game, which wasn't efficient at all, and the intermediate passing game, which wasn't efficient at all. And the point I made in my notes is you can win a Super Bowl without a run game, but I don't think you can win a Super Bowl without a run game and an intermediate passing game, because then all you are is boom or bust. That's all you have. And eventually the busts are going to kill you.